Hey, welcome to yet another edition of the Blue Collar Gospel Hour. I am your host, Dan Denton. We appreciate you listening. We appreciate all your love and support. As always, if you appreciate our work, if you enjoy our podcast episodes, please tell your friends. Share our links on your social media sites. Tell your friends, hey, these crazy bastards out in West Toledo are talking about this crazy shit, and I think you'll like it too. Whatever it takes, share our work. We have a $7 a month advertising budget. We appreciate all of the help we can get. We ask you stay tuned to NoDuckStudios.com, our studio website. We have some cool stuff coming out soon, including a new podcast, BS and Viewpoints, with my friends Winston and Cuddy Coastal. They're talking about some deep topics that are relevant in today's world. I think you'll really like them. The great guys bringing you their viewpoints from a working class, middle class perspective. And stay tuned for that coming soon. We've got some things recorded that'll be up soon in podcast episodes. With that, my friend Cuddy Coastal and I both love football and sports, and we decided that we were going to record some things about sports and put it up on our YouTube channel at No Duck Studios on YouTube. Search for us there. You'll find us. There's 2 videos up. One of me reading a poem and one that Cuddy Coastal and I recorded of our Week 2 NFL picks, which I did terribly at because I always pick from the heart and I like to talk a lot of shit. But the Chicago Bears are 2-0. It looks like I'm going to be 2-0 in my fantasy football league. Life is good. Sunday Night Football's on, and we appreciate your love and support. Anyway, check us out on our YouTube channel, No Duck Studios. We hope you enjoyed today's episode with our friend, the incredible David Harris, one of the most interesting people I know. The episode starts out a little bit slow and picks up steam, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. So I tell people I can't really call what I do interviewing guests when I have guests in the studio because I am not qualified to be an interviewer. So what we do, we just sit down and turn the mics on and start talking. And, you know, I think it was a really good Friday night. I hope you enjoy the episode. This podcast, the Blue Collar Gospel Hour, is recorded in Not a Duck and Any Row Studios, LLC, a studio in West Toledo, Ohio. And our intro music coming up next was produced and recorded by our friends at In Session Productions. Enjoy, folks. Cue the intro music. All right, everybody. Welcome to the Blue Collar Gospel Hour. My name is Dan Denton, and I'm here at Not a Duck and Any Row Studios with my friend Dave Harris, or David,
or Dirty Dave.
Dirty Dave.
Well, I'm formerly.
What was the Decent Dave?
Oh yeah, that didn't stick too
Decent
well.
Dave didn't stick. Dirty Dave stuck, I guess.
Unfortunately,
but
this sounds cool,
Decent Dave made a run for a while. So
you tried. Actually, I convinced all the people on the other side of the factory that was my name, until someone from the older side showed them that it was actually Dirty Dave.
So you tried to change your image.
It was an experiment almost. Like I literally thought I could just show up there and convince people that I had a better nickname. It didn't work.
That's what I like about you. You're doing social experiments in a factory.
Doesn't work.
So that doesn't happen very often. You don't have people doing social experiments where we work.
Maybe I don't know. I was extremely bored. Some people just put on music. Me, I do social experiments on my coworkers.
That is there any other ones you'd like to divulge? I wouldn't.
No, I'm not that twisted.
What are you reading right now?
Oh man, I was honestly reading an Alan Watts book, but I haven't read in a while because I've been focused on doing Spanish on Duolingo.
So you're learning another language.
Yeah, it's good to do in between cars, because instead of rushing through it, you do a sentence or two on the app or whatever, and you can focus on that word you just learned basically. So you can a few minutes and really let it soak in.
Right on. That's admirable. That I would. That's kind of what made you and I friends, though, was reading books. Like we kind of got.
Yeah, it had to have been the Bukowski experience.
Yeah.
Small world kind of thing.
Yeah, true. But that that was like I'm seeing more and more people actually reading books in the factory. That's kind of cool. Or maybe I'm just noticing it more.
No, that is a good sign. I mean, anytime someone's not like staring into their phone, that is a good sign.
Yeah, well, I think it's grown from like 3 people at work I traded books with. Now there's like 8. So I guess there's more people reading.
Yeah,
So.
It's contagious. I mean, I never read growing up, like even through high school, none at all. And it was like sad that I only had I could like name the books I read on my hand, and those books are the ones we had to read in school, and I never read. So to just randomly start reading in my adult life and realizing how great it was.
That was I was kind of the opposite. I read a lot all of my life, but that's because I grew up in a weird religion that didn't have a television. So like there's not shit else to do but read and listen to baseball games on the radio. But I think the thing for me was I never appreciated those books that we had to read in high school because they made me read them. So then as an adult, like I got to a place in life where I wanted to go back and read them, to kind of experience them, I guess.
Yeah, I even wanted to reread some of the books that we did in like high school, just because like they did have a lot of depth. And now that, I'm more mature, I can fully appreciate the lessons to be learned.
That except for Of Mice and Men, I won't read that one. I only read it once. That's enough.
Which one was that?
That's where George and Lenny.
Oh, that one. Oh my gosh, yeah.
I feel like George kind of bitched out, man.
Man,
that wasn't a good friend.
Yeah, I know.
I got some strong opinions about that.
He hit full send, and
it's a great book, though. Very well written. I think I saw the movie, and it kind of like I just don't want to read the book now.
I haven't seen the movie.
It's got Gary Sinise and John Malkovich. It's a great acted movie, by the way.
Is it literally just called like the title of the book?
Of Mice and Men.
Oh,
yeah.
well, that's good. I'll have to look it up, see if it's on.
It's got to be somewhere. Got to be somewhere out there. Are there? So have you read books and watched a movie, and ever watched a movie that's as good as the book?
Fight Club. I mean, you're saying is the I just zoned out for a second. Is the book as good as the movie, or is it the other way around?
Either way, is the movie better than the book, or as good as the book?
I mean, I'm not the most experienced reader out there, but like with Fight Club, like
I'd say you're way better than average. So
yeah, for our society nowadays. But I mean, Fight Club was like they both had their pros and cons. So like it was kind of like a medium. Like so
the movie's equal to the book.
It was equal, and like I think that's honestly a
that's
win
pretty
because
rare, I think.
Yeah, I can only imagine having a favorite freaking book or movie and then being disappointed in the other. That would suck. Oh, here's a fun fact. I actually bought Fight Club in Spanish for when I finally learned it. Yeah, I have it. It was like El Club de Lucha.
Ambitious.
I don't know what it's called. I'm not that good at Spanish yet.
So if I start taking the Spanish classes I'm talking about, I'll have to borrow it sometime.
Oh, yeah, certainly.
We'll have to trade. So what I've been doing, I've been reading like a Spanish poem in the English translation. Like finding a Spanish poem that's already translated.
Yeah.
And like reading one like once a week. Like trying to like get to the place where I can read the Spanish poem and understand what it means because I have the English translation that I studied too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to learn because there's like Roque Dalton is one of my favorite poets. But he primarily wrote in Spanish, and I can't speak Spanish.
Oh, no way.
I can read a little bit, but
yeah.
So I have to rely on the English translations, and I'm like, man, if the English translations are this good, like imagine how,
Right.
So that's kind of what
you get like the full experience if you know it in the native.
And so I'm like, I should learn another language and like evolve as a human, and so that's kind of driving my.
Those different other languages just set your mind. It's such a different place. Like the whole structure is different. It literally changes the way you think and everything.
Yeah. So what's been going on? How's 2020 treated you? How's the year of coronavirus and pandemic and riots and
Oh man.
like life stopping for a while? How's all that been for you?
Um. Well, I guess it's gonna sound pretty bad, but when we were getting unemployment, that was a healthy amount of money with the extra 600. So,
I don't think that sounds bad.
Well, what I'm getting to is like that kind of like personally made me not care about the bigger issues that were taking place. Like I wasn't there. Like I wasn't next to the riots and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I was content having all my bills paid, as simple as that, and not having to work because working on the same assembly line isn't the best time.
I feel like that's the American dream, though. Like I that's one thing I've been very cognizant about is that like I have went through this year way better than most Americans. Like a lot of Americans,
Yeah, exactly.
a lot of Americans have had a tougher time, But I also know that there's been most of my life that hasn't been the case,
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that makes me grateful to have a union job,
It's that security.
I don't want to lose that gratitude,
Yeah, I mean,
as
no matter
crazy
what,
as-
like during the tough times, like we're gonna get paid. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And it's enough to survive.
Yeah, and that's
So like, yeah, like when like I was on the whole COVID situation, like I knew I was taken care of in anyway, and
yeah,
the bonus money that was extra for me. So
yeah. Did you play video games when you were off?
yeah, probably too much.
So that was something like I've not played video games in probably 20 years, really like regularly.
That's a good thing.
But I started playing during the pandemic a little bit.
Oh, it's a slippery slope.
But like no, because I it's boring to me now, and so I just don't. I don't know. So for a while it was kind of fun. Like I got into the NBA 2K
Yeah.
and UFC game and stuff, and I was playing online a little bit.
These UFC ones are fun.
Yeah, but it got to a point where I can beat it pretty easily on like the moderate level, and so I'm like bored with it now. So
Well, honestly, like you just gotta like be very cautious of video games.
yeah, so I just decided I'm just not going to play anymore.
Well, like yeah, I mean,
My kids play Minecraft on it, so I'll keep it for that.
well, at least that's like an architectural type. I don't know if that's weird, but game. You can really be creative with that, and that's good.
Yeah.
But like, there's a lot of games that there's like no like brain activity going on,
Oh yeah,
and like instead of me like reading the like 15 books that I have in front of me that I have to read, like I'm just like doing nothing on a video game. Like there's literally I'm benefiting nothing from it, and so like
it
You
does it is relaxing. Like it is. There's something about playing a video game and zoning out.
yeah,
Like in my life, that kind of like slows down my brain. I guess that it is kind of relaxing.
I
Like
mean, yeah.
there's a little bit of value there for me, I guess. But I would feel more productive in life if I read the book.
Right.
Instead of,
that's the thing for me is like how do you find balance with that, because it's so good at like having you escape from like the shit in reality, So like it's you can just keep feeling good, if you're just playing video games. But
Yeah.
but you also have to be grounded to reality and realize that you got to take care of some stuff, or just learn more and do stuff that is more beneficial in the long run.
True. I also, the downside of reading all the time is I know that a lot of these electronic video games and like slot machines and stuff, they hire psychologists to like make them where they kind of hypnotize people.
Oh yeah.
Not hypnotize you, but like attract, like kind of make you addicted to it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I read that and I'm like, man, why the fuck would I ever put money in a slot machine? I still do once in a while, but
Did you read how that whole aspect of that, like hitting a slot machine and all that, like the addictiveness in it is the same thing as you hitting the refresh button or just waiting for social media for like a notification or a
Yeah.
like. It does the same thing in your brain. So really like it turns like a whole different page on like what
Yeah.
social media is doing to us.
I gotta be careful going too far down this rabbit hole though, because then I get to a place where I'm ready to delete all my social media. But then when I do that, I feel like I'm disconnected from the world. So it's like I do have to find a balance between social media,
And that's
because I feel like I need it for the podcast, I need it for my poetry, I need it,
No. Like social media is like such a great tool. Like,
Yeah, but then I start thinking about this shit we're talking about, and I'm like, fuck that, I'm deleting it.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, no, I've been there so many times, and like, but it's still a tool. So just it's like don't abuse it.
Yeah.
Just use it. Like you can do so much good things with it. Like you can spread the word. Get more active in your community and stuff.
Yeah, and I have actually found community events to be involved with because of social media.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know how else to do it anymore.
And honestly, like the events thing, like inviting people to events, like that's the coolest feature because I don't really put stuff in my phone manually, and I can't ever remember things. But like if there's like an event on Facebook, it's like, hey, you got an event.
Yeah, it gives
I'm
me
like,
a reminder.
Dope. Okay, sweet.
It reminds
yeah.
me the day before or
I
something.
forgot I was supposed to go to that. Yeah, there's a good concert going on tonight.
And
Or
that
the poetry
speaking of
readings.
which, you and I are both. We would see each other frequently at a lot of the local concerts and in the local music scene, like probably oftentimes once or twice a week. There for a while.
Oh, definitely.
How's that been this year with not being able to do that?
Oh, yeah. Whoa, shit!
Like-
I never thought of it like that. But
Like,
yeah,
that's
it's
well.
a halt, complete halt. Like we were like everything was going on. Like everything felt alive. And then, boom! Like everything died. Like you couldn't do nothing. Like you couldn't go see any sort of art in any form.
None.
Like music.
And I know that's a
poetry
big part of
readings,
your life, and that's
Yeah, honestly, that was my medicine for like a lot of things. Those poetry readings, man. Oh, the insights and the
just the people and just like being
epicness. I'm just like a newbie. Like that shit blew my mind.
like sometimes even on nights I didn't read, like just being a part of like that energy was like to me it made me feel alive working in a place like working in a factory, like
Mm-hmm.
You get to a point where you're kind of numb to the world because you work all the time and you do the same work over and over again, and
desensitizing.
then you go to a poetry reading and you hear like a great poem and you're like, oh,
right.
kind of makes me feel
like
alive. A little.
emotion.
Same thing with like a band, like a great,
Yeah, seriously. Like we numb ourselves to deal with the pain of everything, and then you finally see some expression of art. So I don't know, man. Like that, it has to start picking back up. It's been too long.
That I'm hoping. So I think we're going to try to do some like Zoom things too with the studio and stuff, but I know it's not the same. But the one very cool thing about that is I've been like involved with a poetry reading where there's a poet from San Francisco and Florida and Ohio on the same reading.
Yeah.
And you can never do that any other time.
It has its benefits.
So that's kind of neat, and I think eventually we're going to try to do some things with that too, like some poetry
unique
things.
people from like across the country all
Yeah.
in the same.
And we can do that with Zoom, So, but
I
yeah,
haven't downloaded that yet, so I'm really bad with technology.
I just learned how to use it in the last couple of months. Obviously, me too. I'm learning how to use a little bit more
the
technology.
Zoom thing though, like that thing's kicking off. Like I don't know much, but like I know that something about the stocks have like skyrocketed
I'm
since
sure,
everybody's using
everybody,
it. Companies and all that.
That we were supposed to we were going to go see the Rolling Stones in Chicago. I've never seen the Stones. That was like been on my bucket list. We were going to go see them this summer, and that got canceled. So we were going to go to Toronto. Our first like out of country trip, and that,
that,
it kind of like, but I feel like hopefully we give that back to a place where we can do those things. Like hopefully I can get to a concert, like get to travel, eventually next year, hopefully or something. And
I had a couple trips canceled. The one was I was supposed to go to New York to go see Highly Suspect play.
Yeah,
and I was ready to see the Statue of Liberty. I wanted to see the Empire State Building, so I was like, you know what, like this is like the cliche American like dream or whatever to see New York and.
Yeah, but you got to do it. I mean,
yeah, and I was ready for it. I was like, I'm gonna see this stuff, and then it canceled. Just like that.
That how many times have you seen Highly Suspect?
3 times.
3 times.
I want to say, yeah.
That's a band that I listened to only because you and Tyler told me about them.
Dude, that's how
I think Tyler told me first. He was wearing a shirt.
Yeah.
And I asked him about it one time.
Yeah, he got me listening to him, so I'll give him credit for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I seen him in Denver, Flint, Michigan. But like my favorite one was the Washington D.C. So like I went to Washington D.C. just to see Highly Suspect, and it was like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Like I literally skateboarded across the whole city wearing a full suit with tie and everything.
Sweet.
And it was sweet. Like everyone was like blown away that some dude in a suit's skateboarding. Everyone thought I was like a politician or something. someone important, but no, I'm just an asshole wearing a suit. Like,
Fuck that.
let's
You're more
go.
important than a fucking politician.
Yeah, exactly. And like it was a perfect day, and it was my solo trip. Like I took a solo. That was the first solo trip I ever took in my life, and it was because of Highly Suspect. You know, it gave me the motivation to get out there. Nevertheless,
That so how was the solo trip? How would you compare that to like going on a trip with friends?
well, for me, I guess I'll cut straight into the matter. You know, I have anxiety, so like anxiety, like you know, you kind of need security when you have anxiety, like hardcore, like I do. So at the time, it was like being by yourself, first of all, is a whole new experience. You know, you don't have anybody but yourself. So when you got to drive like 7 hours by yourself and, you know, just be alone at a concert and just like literally everything you do the whole night and, you know, Airbnb or whatever it's called, it's by yourself. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's completely different. Like for me, it was healthy though. Like I needed that like experience to grow as a person
Yeah.
because I've been so reliant on, I was in at that point like well, a little before I was in a relationship for so long like you were never alone,
Yeah.
so like I just encourage everybody to be alone for a little while and just be a little scared.
Yeah. I love traveling alone. I think because I mean you kind of just do whatever you want. You know, like a vacation. So when I travel, this is when I go somewhere new, I always like read about it first, right?
Yeah,
Like I'll read everything I can find about it. So, like for example, the first time I went to Vegas, my wife and I got married there. I already knew a couple things I wanted to do when I got there, but I only wanted to do a couple things because I really want to wander around and like check shit out. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I just want to walk around and find stuff and look at the people and like you know.
Just be yourself, dick around, and
Yeah.
like not have to worry like
And if
everybody
I like,
wants to do something
if
else.
I want to get ice cream at 3:00 in the morning, I go get fucking ice cream.
Yeah.
And then if I want to sleep till noon, you know what I'm saying? Like there's some kind of like a sense of freedom and like independence that I enjoy. But it's also cool to travel like like it's a whole different experience traveling with friends because you know the experience like you'll do more things
yeah,
and you know
the
it's,
hype. It's like the energy
yeah
is
you know
higher
yeah
'cause
it's
like a
the
group.
the energy exactly.
Uh-huh.
So and that's
You gotta experience the full spectrum of things, like you know the hype, friend trips,
Yeah.
the solo ones, the family ones. Like you gotta dabble in it all.
yeah. I feel like I don't know, maybe just because I'm who I am. I feel more comfortable traveling alone. But that changed when I started like going to underground poetry readings, like underground poetry festivals, or like the underground lit fest and stuff. Because if you travel like with 4 or 5 other poets or singer songwriters and artists,
Oh,
like those road trips, like you'll have some things to write about. You know what I
that's
mean?
That's a whole different
Like
experience.
that's yeah. I mean, and it's usually you know you're not all we don't really have money, and you know we're 4 guys to a hotel room. You know, it's still kind of that. You know, you're out getting pancakes at 2:00 in the morning. Shit you don't do in our everyday normal life anymore because
Right.
we're adults. You know,
Right.
so it's kind of and with all that energy, that creative energy around, like you know,
Creative
some of
energy.
my best poetry I think has come from those festivals.
Yeah, I mean, just to be surrounded by those kind of people
Yeah,
the whole time, like, and like they're fun. You know, those people are fun. You know,
Yeah.
like their work is great and it's fun in a way. You know, so it's like no wonder they're so great.
yeah.
People to hang out with.
Yeah, I think that's been the hardest part for me this year is like I got this theory that being around creative people make me more creative because like the energy you're around kind of affects you. That's how I feel anyway. Shit, you know, what the fuck do I know about this shit?
No, it's true though. I mean, like
But-
if you hang out with people that just like talk about other people, you're not gaining anything. But like you hang out with people that talk about like some abstract ideas, or just you know get into something descriptively, like it's at least making your brain be stimulated.
Yeah, and I feel like I haven't got that much this year, you know, because we
So I
haven't been able to
see.
do anything, you know, and it's been good in a lot of ways because I've done a lot of other stuff I wouldn't normally do, I guess, but like build a studio in my basement, like you know,
Yeah. Just give
But-
and take.
yeah. So you were doing guitar lessons, you told me, or doing
Yeah.
music lessons.
I was doing some guitar lessons. It's actually pretty good at this musician. I think honestly, like My motivation is pretty low, but I feel like it would really benefit like teenagers and stuff. You know, like as a parent, like you maybe be like, listen, like I know you like your social media and all that, but I'll pay for the subscription of musician so you can learn guitar because you know you might feel a little better just
Yeah.
having a skill.
Yeah.
I mean, even that, like the apps, like I'm saying, like Duolingo too, like learn language. Parents should tell people about that. But like, honestly, musician for learning guitar is pretty legit. Like, it teaches you. I don't like music theory is a language, and I didn't understand that. So like, you know, as I'm learning Duolingo, I guess it all ties together. You kind of understand that, you know.
Yeah.
You have to learn the structure of it, so everything connects a little bit better when you're trying to practice. Or,
Yeah.
You know, do chords and shit. Knowing where the notes.
So
The
what
scale.
what makes you try to do new things like this? Like what makes you like decide, hey, I want to try to learn music, or what makes you decide, hey, I'm going to learn to speak Spanish? Like you just wake up one day and you're like, I should learn Spanish. Like what do you like? This is like you're trying multiple ways to like do like that's kind of cool. That's one of the things I like about you, by the way.
Yeah,
Like you're always doing something new every time I meet you.
I think. I
Or
mean,
every time I hang out, I should
realistically,
say.
I think you know we all have this urge inside of us to do something. You know, and the way everything is, we may not understand that. And if you go
Yeah.
through enough things, you realize that like you know a lot of your stresses might just be because you've been repressing something inside you. You know, so you know like if something's repressed, you have to get it out. How are you going to get it out? Well, through communication of some sort. And communication is like language or some sort of art, you know, like musical or something. So I don't know. I want to dabble and to see what I'm good at. Like, how can I release this creative energy? Like, can I learn an instrument? Maybe I'm not that good, or I gotta try words. You know, drawing some pictures. What's exactly is gonna help me?
I've seen you
release
write
it?
some haiku that was pretty damn good.
Yeah, you know, like so. I don't know. It's just like
What made you start writing haiku?
haiku as well. Well, I remember when we went to one of the poetry readings, I wrote my first haiku ever. And I brought my friend. I honestly forget what friend it was, but and it was like, you know, I'll always just been someone that watches and listens to poetry or whatever, and but it was interactive, like that bar or whatever it was hosted at.
That was a
If
fun reading.
if you know
That was a fun reading.
the bar or whatever we were at, I kind of forget because the names, but you can give them a shout if you want. But Stormy was there, and it was another bar. It was just
I don't
some
think I
random
can't
place.
remember. They don't do the reading there anymore. It's not at that bar. They moved it to the bar on Reynolds, I think.
Oh, so they haven't. They're under New York. Like,
But I don't
probation?
think they're doing anything. Anybody's doing anything right now because of COVID.
Oh, so I guess it's
So
irrelevant.
who knows
now.
where we'll wind up after COVID? You know,
Yeah.
when we start getting back out. But yeah,
But
that was a fun
basically,
reading though.
Yeah, that reading, like they did an interactive thing where everybody had to write a haiku. It was just like a little challenge. Like
Mm-hmm.
everybody, here's a little note card, write haiku, and then they're gonna read them. Or we were gonna read them because I actually read my first poem there, the haiku I made. So yeah, like it was to make a haiku. They explained it and said write one, and we all took our time. And then you know, obviously,
Everybody's
when the time was
having
up, we read 'em.
drinks and
And,
chilling and
it was like a whole new experience for me because like I was forced to write poetry there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because everyone's doing it. It was part of the, and it was cool how interactive it was. Like that was fun. Like I'm glad they made me like, you know, do that.
yeah.
So yeah, that was the first time I read haiku. But it was actually from a video game too, though. There's a Ghost of Tsushima. It's for PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty funny actually. Like you know, you do your whatever missions and stuff, but they have parts in this game where you write your own haiku. Like you look around and there's like 3 options, and then the next thing is 3 options and another 3 options or so. But it's like a list of words, and you can craft your own haiku in that. So like I was like, damn, that was so therapeutic. I was like, that was fun. Like I really enjoyed like piecing together that haiku.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, I was like, you know what? Like I've wanted to write for a while because the poetry readings way before that event. Like this could be my like in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? To writing some poetry and stuff. It's like just doing simple haikus. And like I love the Japanese culture or the whole Eastern philosophies and all that. And that kind of ties in, you know, it's like Zen Buddhism.
Yeah.
Haikus and stuff. So that's really how it all kicked off, man. Like, just like everything lined up, and I had the right push.
Yeah. Speaking of Zen Buddhism, one of the things that's happened this year, I think because my stress and anxiety, and my mental health has been off the rails a little this year because of this year.
Yeah.
But I've meditated more days in a row, like more consistently than I ever have in my life this year. Like that's been one thing that's better.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's perfect, though. I mean,
I don't know if that's like helping enough. Like it's
helping more than
or if
not doing it.
I need to
I'll
do
tell
it
you
longer or something, but that's something, that's progress. And I started doing some yoga because my back got so fucked up.
Yeah,
and
I wanted to get into that for sure.
like I've literally got 2 yoga mats now.
That's what's up.
But yeah, so like my back got so fucked up, and then like going to this therapy, like I had this great therapist. Like he had, so you know how like our IDs at work have like our original photo forever on it. Like this dude works at ProMedica, and he had his ID was the same way, but like
it was like from like
his was like from
before.
1984 or something, and he had this giant afro. It was amazing, and he was like super like just trippy vibe hippie kind of guy.
Yeah.
And he was like
Paint
showing
some
me
little
these.
trees.
He's like, this is a yoga stretch, and he's like, you should do these stretches, and yoga's your friend. And so I started like, I'll be damned if the stretches that he had me doing didn't make my back feel better. It's
I
like
believe
it
it.
helps so much
Yo, like
that I got a yoga mat now,
I
and
had
I've
a
done
huge
big, like,
realization in life, like huge insight. Like I know it's going to sound pretty freaking obvious, but I've never let it sink in. But like I was actually, I think I was pretty intoxicated that night when I realized this. But I had the realization, like, you know what, like, man, like I feel I'm in pain a lot. We work in a factory, dude.
yeah,
Like I'm in pain a lot. So I was like maybe if I was more limber, I'd feel like younger, basically more healthier.
yeah.
I mean, it's pretty obvious, I guess, but like it just
Yeah,
hit
but
me
it's
like
like-
I need to start stretching.
Yeah.
I need to start doing this now.
Man, speaking of the
It can
pain,
improve
like
my
that's
life.
something I feel like we're all going through because a bunch of us all got hired the same year, and that's like we're all kind of at that place now where we realize, holy shit, this is kicking our ass. You know,
Yeah.
like now we realize, okay,
Yeah, like I was, and it's funny because like just today, like the new TPT, for her first day, I'm like, and it's shocking too. Like I was like, this is your first day today? She's like, yeah. So I'm like, this is a big moment in your life.
yeah,
But basically, what I was like describing like situations like you should or shouldn't do, whatever. Like more than just teaching the job, like just kind of like some
Yeah.
concepts you should follow here. And like one of the realizations, like man, like I get hurt a lot because like I was like, yeah, I hurt my shoulder out when I did cables for 2 years
Yeah.
straight without rotating with anybody.
yeah.
It's still with me today, and that's 7 years later. Like wow,
So don't get grossed out, but I have this callus right here.
yeah.
I
see it.
haven't done that job for almost 2 years now.
What?
But pulling
it
the
looks
clips,
like you did it yesterday.
pulling the clips off of the
Strikers
bottles.
or whatever was that?
The bottles. Remember the bottles we put on? It was a team in front of the one you're on, where you put like it's the window cleaner bottle. You put it on, and they had 2 grenade pins.
The grenade pins.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they had that tool you would use, but it was always quicker just to pull them off by hand.
Yank it off.
Well, there was like 2 people on the team that didn't like that job, and it was an easy job,
Oh, so you just
But-
hooked them up and you just.
but it hurt their fingers.
Mhm.
So I would just do that job half a day because it was a kind of easy job. But doing that job half
Was
a
that the
day
tape
for
one?
like 2 years,
Tape one.
the one where you put you did the front clips,
Yeah.
and then you put that bottle on, and that was it.
What was your job called? Well, at that point in time, was that the penalty job one?
No, it wasn't a penalty job. We just called it bottles. I don't fucking know.
Right.
Fuck, I don't know. But anyway,
Yeah, I feel it.
pulling those 2 grenade pins
Yeah.
off, 5 hours a day for 2 years, and I've got a callus still 2 years later. Like it's slowly wearing away, but I haven't
No,
been on.
that's saying something, man.
Like that's
a long time ago.
dude. Like I think about that. Like I'm like,
Why is it still
what
affecting
the
me?
fuck, man?
Yeah.
Like I haven't done that job in 2 years.
It's been weeks.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Like that's
Like that
crazy.
job literally deformed me.
Right, like your
You know?
body's been healing
I know
for
it's like a small tiny, but it's still.
No, it's been healing for years.
Yeah.
And it hasn't. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's still
Yeah.
suffering.
Like that's crazy, and it's like we're talking. It's a great job. Like it's.
Like I would just have to say, like, just rotate, man. Like
That's
you know,
what, yeah.
find
we
a
gotta,
job where you rotate.
Well, that's the things. Like we gotta like teach these other people coming in. Like, listen, like this is what we did, and it was stupid. Like, don't.
Yeah.
You know, because I always did like I did tires for a long time because
Yeah,
it was
that-
easy.
sure.
It was heavy,
That was
but
basic though.
that
It was
definitely
easy.
wasn't good for my back. You know,
Right.
and you know I did like bumpers for a while, stuff like that. Like I always did the
Yeah.
heavier jobs because I didn't require small parts.
Yeah, the small parts thing though. That's what all the veterans tell you to watch out for. Like
Yeah,
my
oh,
dad,
yeah,
he worked
yeah.
there for 30 years and retired ASAP because he realized how shitty it was.
Yeah,
The small parts, he's like, yo, you just gotta stay away from that.
yeah.
And like they all say it, so it makes you wonder, like, man, like your joints are gonna just be destroyed in your fingers and stuff. if
Yeah.
You do the small parts. But
But we read books and that kind of like,
it centers you.
I mean, it just there's something I love about like reading a good book or writing a poem for me, like while I'm at work.
Oh, it's satisfying as
It's
ever,
like
isn't it,
yeah,
though?
like it's like to be in the middle of like if you can like got a job and you can like look at your book, you know, and
Yeah.
sneak a couple lines in here and there, you know, a
Certainly.
paragraph or something, you know. But you know, there's some jobs there like that. If you can do that and like you get lost for like an hour or two, it's like I feel like I'm stealing back my time, you know?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like, I got something out of the day. Like you
Yeah.
came out of a mindless job, like with something.
Like you're
That-
talking about
anything.
learning Spanish while you're at work. Like I've tried that, like listening to, you know.
Like you're getting further and further with any day you do it. Like there's something you gain from it. Cause like, if you just don't do anything or at best listen to music, what did you get out of that? Nothing at
Yeah.
all. So like,
Listening to music though is good. I mean, that's
but you gotta. I realize
I have to
mean,
listen to new stuff though because it like
Yes,
expands
exactly.
me. Like
No,
it, you
that's
know.
I was gonna lead into that. Like you can't just listen to the same stuff.
Yes.
You're not gaining nothing. Like you're just you're playing yourself on repeat. But like exploring that's perfect then. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But for me, like I guess I just got lazy and it was just listening to the same songs over and over again. Like, and I have like at least 1,000 songs or so.
Yeah,
and
but
if
you,
those are getting boring,
you
that
get
means
tired
I
of
listen
them,
to
you know,
it
yeah.
way too much.
So I started, by the way, shouts out to this. I started a Twitter feed for the studio, and I think it's called Playing in Studio. I think at Playing in Studio. I don't fucking know. I can't
Something
remember,
close.
and I don't want to look it up. But anyway, I started a Twitter feed, and it literally all I do is share from Apple Music because I got a Mac. I share whatever.
It
I-
works.
I still feel guilty about it, but whatever. But I started a Twitter feed. It's just whatever's playing in the studio. So whatever music we're listening to while we're working in here, like whenever we're not talking,
Yeah.
there's music playing. Or football or something on the TV, whatever we're watching or playing.
That's good.
And I do that because I'm always looking for something new. For example, another guy at work was telling me today about Frank Zappa, was talking about Frank Zappa. I'm like, dude, I haven't listened to Frank Zappa in forever, so I'm going to listen to him. You'll probably see that on the Twitter feed later tonight.
That's what's up though.
But like I got to do that. I got to like highly suspect. I saw a guy wearing a T-shirt. I'm like, hey, who's that? And he's like, oh man, it's this great band. Like that dude, like he loves that band. And I'm like, he
that's
loves
his
them so much. Like I downloaded both their albums. Like I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And I listened to both of them. I'm like, damn, they're pretty good actually. But it was kind of cool because I knew he'd already told me like 2 or 3 songs that were important to him.
Right.
So it kind
He
of
broke
meant
it
something.
down to
It kind
the
of meant
meaning
something
of
to
it.
me already when I listened to it.
Started speaking
So
poetry. to
now,
you.
like I'll regularly, not all the time, but every now and again I'll listen to them again. It's like,
Yeah.
and we need that. I need that. I need variety.
I'll have to keep sending you some bands then.
Hell
Just
yeah.
like stuff I heard the Holland House.
Well, that's
and
what I
stuff.
love about Holland House, man. Like
Man,
I would never find those bands on the radio. How would you find those bands?
dude, that you would never like. You're only exposed to what they give you. to
Speaking
the
of Holland
mainstream.
House, I wrote a poem to Holland House, and one of the reasons why I wrote a poem about that is because going there was a day. So it was like a Friday night show there, right?
Yeah.
And like where we work, it's like in my job, it's 11-hour days, usually 10 and a half, 11-hour days, 6, 7 days a week, and it's a grind. So you don't want to stay out late because if you're tired one night, it's hard to catch up because you're working every day.
It's
It's
a few
like
days. It takes days
but-
of sleeping early.
So I remember like I had a kind of a rough day at work, and then I went to the Holland House to a show, and there was like 3 bands I'd never heard of any of them.
Yeah.
I'm a middle-aged white guy. Like these young bands, like one of them was from Fort Wayne, I think, or something.
Yeah.
I can't even remember who the bands were now.
Right.
But
We could probably trace it back if we
I
investigated.
could, and I should.
Yeah.
And I do go back and do that because I want to listen to their music again.
Yeah.
But the thing I loved that inspired me was, like, I remember when I was 20 years old, and I would work all day in a factory, and then I would go to an underground punk show, and I had black cow, combat boots, like I thought I was a punk, or whatever, for like 2 years, man. And I still listen to punk. I still love punk. There's part of me that'll always be punk, right?
Oh, yes.
But like, I'm a middle-aged white guy with kids and a job,
Right.
and I forget that so I was there, and dude, it was like I stayed up till like 1 o'clock in the morning. I went to work on 3 hours of sleep, but it didn't matter. And I was like, dude, I was alive,
Yeah, it
and
reminds
it's like,
you. And, you always have it in
like
you.
I
though,
need that in life, like I'll forever love Holland House because of that,
Oh, I was the same way. Like, I would literally I'd be at a show, and I know I have to wake up at 4 a.m. It's like, but like, man, I don't even care. Like, this is so good. Like, whatever, I'll be tired tomorrow. I bet I'll survive.
But it's like it don't matter because you're alive. You know what I mean? It's like
you focus.
Or maybe we're crazy. Maybe we're just fucking crazy.
Wouldn't that be something?
maybe we'll die young because, like, all the studies say you need 10 hours of sleep or 9 hours of sleep, and that's fucking impossible.
We've just been lying to ourselves.
Yeah, we're going to die at 71 or something. And
yeah, that's always a possibility for sure.
That's like my fear, actually, is to die like a year after I retire or something, man. That's what I got to avoid.
Curse, man.
I got to avoid that.
It happens, doesn't it?
That's a real thing, man. Like, we see it all the time.
They slow down, man.
See it all the time. So that's another thing too. There's been like more people retiring because of this pandemic, and
I know
like our lives are. I think we've grown kind of numb to it, but like we go through a lot of shit every day.
I know. It's
between masks
sad
and
hearing about like the older folk there that they die whilst they're working there, man.
Man, that's
like,
yeah.
You never even got to retire,
Yeah.
And that happens a lot.
I think too though, there's something about the work we do. That, like, this is kind of my fear too. It's like it becomes so ingrained because, like, if you take like a week off, it's like it's there. It never goes away.
Right. Yeah.
And like part of me is like, like I don't want to be, I don't want to always be Dan, that works at that cheap place,
You're chained to it, man.
Yeah, it's like I want to be more, like, it's great and I love it and it's provided my family the best life they've ever had. But it's like,
it comes at a cost, though.
Yes, and it's like, but it becomes so ingrained in who you are. I feel like I know for a fact because in my job, I talk to a lot of these people retiring. Like they're afraid to retire because they don't know what they're going to do without this place. Like this has been their life for so long. Like think about the hours. Think about the days and hours we work.
Yeah.
And think about doing that for 30 years and then just stopping that.
Yeah,
like there are people afraid. There are people afraid, and that's like, I'm afraid I'll be that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's why I think it's
I got to go to Holland House even when if I'm my 50s or something.
I think that might be the problem though. Like, you have to have those moments that like reset you.
Yes.
Just like to life, just existence, like just feel your soul. You just gotta feel your soul, basically. I guess I could say that.
Yes.
It'd be easily understood. So like whatever, listen to music. Like that was like such a great thing that happened in my life too, the Holland House.
Yeah.
I went to so many shows.
Dude, I actually got so listen to this. I actually got a little jealous for a minute because like all of a sudden like you were recommending books to me all the time and shit. I'm like, dude, like I always used to be the guy that would tell Dave about cool books and it's like, man, he's read 18 more books than me this month, like, and you've been to like 18 concerts. I'm like, man, this dude's living, and I'm like, I got to catch up, like,
oh man,
but
that was a good summer,
dude. Like you like a quantum leap, like in life, kind of like, cause you were kind of like, I don't know about socially awkward, but like quiet and like.
No, I mean that's exactly what it was like, really, because like I obviously, you said took a leap. Like I was so repressed because I started Jeep at 20.
Yeah.
I was living a really mundane lifestyle,
Yeah.
And at 20, at 20 you still have a lot of like life, and like there's something in you that wants to go do something.
Yeah.
And I was already repressed from working at Jeep, man.
Yeah.
I mean, not talking shit, but just the fact.
Oh,
that,
it definitely.
it's
it definitely.
Like a family for
it
sure.
definitely. It's a lifestyle that for sure. I mean, it has to be.
Yeah.
But the hours and the it has to be a lifestyle.
I feel like like what we were saying, just like you gotta train yourself and just have some insight,
Yeah.
of what that'll do. But I didn't understand it. I had no idea, so I got jumped into that like right away at 20. So like I was really repressed and like doing stuff because everyone at my age, no one even held a steady job. Everybody
I did, but I got fired when I was 21.
Right, just doing
I had a good job
stuff.
for 2 years. And I fucked it up.
That's normal though,
Yeah.
like just doing that, and I was like instantly locked into like a good future, so that I couldn't really mess it up, and I knew that. At least I was responsible, whatever. So I mean, everyone else at my age was just wilding out, and then like it was like I wasn't at all.
But look at you now.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
now you're the guy going on great vacations.
Yeah,
like these guys are living a different life now, and you're taking off to Phoenix whenever you want. You're going. You used to go pre-COVID, post-COVID. We'll be back there.
All right.
Like I can't wait to see what you do. Where you go and
right, exactly.
Talk about your New York trip and.
It's just gonna keep expanding to further and further. Like I have my sister as inspiration. She travels all over the fucking world and stuff.
Yeah.
And like, so
that makes me jealous,
I'm working up to that. Like she literally went by herself to like London, literally for just over a weekend. Like why not? Like that's awesome. Yeah. So like I'm glad I have that. Sort
I feel
of
like me and you can get to that point soon.
Yeah, exactly. It just comes with the realization that it's easy. You know what I mean? It's really not that.
It's not, yeah.
You just gotta plan a little bit. Just have a few days off, and you can do it. Just stay focused, driven.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a distraction. Like we were going back to partying, just like every weekend, doing the same stuff. Fine. I mean, I just recommend going to shows and like art, poetry. Man, if I would have done that at an early age, I feel like I could be in a better place right now.
I feel like it's just important to find something that makes you feel alive once in a while. Like.
Right.
Whether it is a show at the Huntington Center, I don't know, whatever it is. I was going to go see the Rolling Stones. Like, that would have been a great, that's my favorite
speaking
band.
Of entertaining things, like, just also meeting people, like, interesting people. Like, someone at work, you meet someone and, like, they're into, like, they got a cousin or whatever who's into boxing. And, like, that was the first time I ever went to a boxing fight, like, because someone at work. And it was, like, the greatest experience ever. I went to a couple more.
Yeah,
like I would like to do that again.
And that same friend, same reason.
Yeah,
like
Bone Squad.
Yeah, shouts out to Bone Squad.
Yes,
we both got gear.
I have like 4 of their fucking t-shirts.
Yeah,
for sure.
I've got 2. I need more.
Man, those.
I was gonna get a hoodie, but I think it was not the colors I wanted. I think they were doing not black and red
at the moment.
Yeah, so. Those colors involve a football rivalry that we won't mention in the studio for the sake of friendship. And
there's some
who gives a fuck about football when you're talking about art, man, and books and shit,
Exactly.
But so that so podcast. You have podcasts you listen to?
I don't. Like I mean, like I just downloaded the app. But like I didn't listen to exactly podcasts, but I listen to lectures on YouTube, which is the same concept.
Yeah.
You're listening to something. And
any good lectures lately?
I re-listened to it. One of Alan Watts. He talks about self-improvement.
Cool.
And it's not like what you think. Like it has a twist to it, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I would recommend. I don't know the exact video because there'll be the same title of the video, but it's all the same thing. Kind of thing. I mean, it's
so when you say self-improvement, I feel like whether right or wrong, you and I both would have we would both kind of not like that word self-improvement, not like that phrase. We're not
exactly
but you and I both have books that would be considered self-improvement that have changed our lives. You know what I mean?
I just don't want to call it that.
But it's like Osho.
Yeah.
Like it's Osho or Leo Buscaglia for me, or even Fight Club.
Yeah.
Like Fight Club is definitely how can it not change your life?
Exactly.
East of Eden for me is one of those books. But we we don't like that phrase, but we literally it's just not chicken soup for the soul stuff.
Exactly.
But
it makes it sound it feels like just saying self-improvement, it takes away from what it just makes it sound so basic.
Yes.
Like there's so much more.
It's more than that. It's more than
depth to it. So you can't just sell it short and just.
So what books for you? A couple of them you've mentioned you've loaned to me, but.
Well, I guess it depends. I did like who was it? It was like turn like shit. I can't even think of his name, man. It's been too long.
What was that? The Way of the Warrior. You loaned me one that was.
That was I think Dan McMillan or something.
That was a pretty good one.
That was a good one. Yeah, that one took you on a trip the whole time.
Yeah.
But I like there's some artists that are authors that you probably wouldn't even hear of. But like they have the Pursuing Consciousness books.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that where it just makes you like really look introspectively at yourself and like human nature. Yeah. That can benefit you a lot.
You ever read like Eckhart Tolle or something?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Oh my God. Eckhart Tolle. I read like 3 of his books, man. Like,
so, this is kind of like I guess a guilty confession. Like I've read some of his books, but it's been like a long time, like 15 years maybe. And I know like I should read them again because it would probably help me in life and stuff and like mean something. But it's like I kind of just haven't done it. I don't know why. Like
I think it's because
maybe it's a self-improvement. Maybe I'm just not ready to.
Well, maybe it's like in a good way. Like you already know it. Like
a little bit, yeah. Like, but over 15 years, it's
But maybe even so, like a lot of stuff kind of sticks with you. Like a lot of stuff with those kind of books, like you really already know it, but like they show it to you in such a way that you feel it versus just logically knowing it.
I would argue is what art is.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's kind of. The ability to show you something you already know, but you
feel it. Yeah. Instead of just being like a robot they trained in school or something.
Yes.
Of basic knowledge.
Wow, that's pretty deep, man. That's what I like about you, Dave. Dirty Dave.
Dirty Dave. Who'd expect?
Yeah, man. They've never seen Dirty Dave get deep, huh?
Deep. Dirty Dave. Oh, man. We'll just say Deep Dave.
Deep Dave.
Start adding dirty in there. It makes everything worse.
Decent Deep Dave. No. Deep. No, it's just Dirty Dave.
There isn't too many good adjectives that start with D, as surprising as it sounds.
Well, with Dan, Dangerous Dan.
Most of them are kind of on the
negative kind of like you don't really
dangerous.
Want
that's sketchy, right?
Yeah, you don't want it. Like I've always been Pork Chop, so that's kind of like a cool nickname, I guess now. Like when I was younger, I didn't care for it too much, but kind of don't get to pick.
That's
unique,
man. Yeah, exactly.
You don't like it's.
I tell people
it just stuck, and that's
like I like give everybody nicknames. I don't know.
You do.
I don't know why.
We work with a guy named Shane.
Shithead Shane.
You guys called him something else. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
I was telling him that, and he's like, I can't remember. He works on my side now.
Yeah.
I can't remember. You guys called him something else once. I can't remember what it was.
I mean, we were experimenting with a lot of different like adjectives and descriptive words to describe him.
Just something to make the time.
But like I ended up sticking with like Shithead Shane, and like even now when I see him at the gym, and I haven't worked with him in a long time, I still call him that.
He's a good dude though, man.
Yeah, but what I was getting to is like you can't self-proclaim your own nickname. So
no, that's not. I mean, you can, but that's not how it's supposed to work.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like that's like coming over and saying you're Decent Dave and not working out. See, that should have taught you something in your social experiment.
Exactly. So like, I mean, you got a nickname. That's
something
to say though.
If you had people believing you for a while, that says something too. You know?
Right. True.
Which means, by the way, as a man that has lived in 7 different states, you can kind of start over and but you always follow you there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
like eventually you're you, and it doesn't matter.
Like
no matter who you try to be. Yeah, that's what I've learned.
You only keep the charade going.
That's what I've learned living in 7 states. Like no matter what happens, you know.
I know, right? That's like when they discovered I was Dirty Dave instead of Decent Dave. They're like, "Oh, that makes much more sense." And, like laughing like assholes. Like,
see?
Whatever, I guess I am a piece of shit. Whatever.
It's not that you're a piece of shit.
Exactly.
It's just, you're unique.
Exactly.
Which is a good thing.
I don't follow a popular opinion.
That's very true. But I don't know anybody that doesn't like you. They just know you're Dirty Dave.
Right. Exactly.
A little raw, a little hardcore. So
it all works out, man. Like,
they're not, but then again, they're not going to 4 punk shows in 1 week while they're working 6 days a week.
Right, dude. I can't believe I survived all that.
Dude, there were some weekends
like 2 or 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah, I do. Like one weekend, I remember we were at Holland House one night, and I did Ottawa Tavern the next night. It was like both great nights. Both people I knew were at both shows, which is part of the best part. Not the best part, but one of the good parts about like going to Holland House is the cool people you'll meet.
Yeah.
Like there's some interesting, like, people, like just good people, man.
Yeah, the people I see there, I would see at other shows and like other bars and stuff, and like, we know each other from the Holland House.
Yeah. So that's kind of like, like Kenton, I got to be kind of friends with Kenton because of Holland House, So, but yeah, like I've met a lot of cool people like Ottawa Tavern, or what I like is like if one of the singers.
Yeah.
And then, like, they're like, oh, yeah, meet this guy from this other band that's there. And then all of a sudden you're, like, friends with another band,
Right.
And that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Is that, like, networking in a way? Well, that sounds more business. What would be the word? Just branching out. There we go.
It's just like meeting cool people. Fuck, I don't know.
No, I love it, man. The connections are so great.
What I have to remember is you got to show up.
Participation required.
Yeah, man. I gotta get out of my fucking lazy boy. You know what I mean?
I feel it.
And I gotta put some decent clothes on, and
you gotta shift your mindset.
Yeah.
From work into 60 hours a week guy.
Yeah.
To like just being human again guy.
Yeah. So, but if you do that, look what the results are.
Exactly.
And that's like I feel like I forget that sometimes too. So, which by the way is one of the best reasons to start a podcast is. You can get cool people to hang out, and you ain't got to
remind you of some stuff,
and you ain't got to leave. See, so now I don't have to.
Dude, that's legit though. Like this is perfect, man.
It is. Like that's kind
keeps
of
us focused on things that aren't what mainstream's telling us. Like,
yeah,
honestly. Like they really control what we think, and people want you
can
deny all you want, but like they are doing like the whole trends itself. Like the fact that you're following a trend means you're listening to whatever they're telling you to. Like, bro, you gotta listen to. Like,
well, then you think about how
get out in local.
You think about how like, what is it like? Out of all the major like television networks, like 4 people own them. Like 90% of them.
Right.
Like what the fuck, man? Like literally, all the radio stations in America are controlled by like 4 companies. Like 90% of them.
Right. Exactly.
So like 4 people pick what gets played on your radio.
Just 4 ideas that just get spiderwebbed through everything.
Then the fucking internet came along, Dave.
Damn internet.
And now, me and you see, hey, they're having a show at Holland House tonight, and we go hang out with like 80 people with bands that don't get on the radio, and we're like, hey, this fucking shit's real.
Right.
Like, I don't know why these guys aren't on the radio, but these guys are pretty good. And they can sell their albums on iTunes.
Yeah.
And, the internet kind of like made it a little more level. We can have a podcast studio in the basement now, and, know.
Yeah, man.
Which I think kind of leads to this life. If it's out there, people look for it. That's what I think. Like
I'm not gonna watch American Idol, whatever it's called. I'm gonna go out into the scene. Like,
well, I will watch America's Got Talent. That's my one show.
Yeah.
But this year I kind of even got bailed on that kind of.
Well, I mean, honest, like you're looking at talent though. That's not a fail at all.
So I kind of figured out what it is I like about that.
What is it?
So on that show, you will routinely see like 50-year-old people who have been singing in bars for 30 years.
Dope.
And like nobody knows who the fuck they are. And they get on that stage in front of like Simon Cowell.
Yeah, and they made it through the cut.
And Howie Mandel and Heidi. I can't remember who the other judge is now. Not Gabrielle. Anyway, they get in front of those like celebrities and in front of 20,000 people in this, and they bring down the house. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm like, and they're crying on stage, and I'm like, as an artist, I'm like, ah, man. So that's why I watch that show.
No, I was trying to think of it as something generally loved by everybody. And that one has a legit reason. But maybe I could have said football, but then it makes sense in the summertime or something for concerts. I overthought it a little bit. But I
kind of ruined it for you because that's...
No, but that's legit, though. Honestly, like, that kind of goes into everything we've been talking about. Is like, it's nice that, those people make it through and actually
but I had to break it down because I had to find out, like, does this really have value? Because that's kind of the weirdo I am,
No,
like...
it definitely does, man. It really does, though, man. That's awesome, yeah.
So...
It's cool seeing people doing unique shit. Like, I've seen The Magician when I was in Vegas. Wow, what is his name? Chris Angel?
Oh, yeah.
I've seen him in Vegas.
Did you see him levitate when you...
Yeah, he did a whole bunch of crazy stuff, man.
How the fuck does he do that, man? Like, he doesn't, like, levitate.
I'm such a skeptic. I was looking the whole time.
Like, we know he doesn't. Come on, man. It's not, like, I know enough. Like, I don't know shit about physics. But I know that's fucking impossible. Like
Right.
it's not, but I don't know how the fuck he does it.
I know.
So I'm fascinated. Like they do those card tricks, and dude, I'm just like slow, and I'm like, and it impresses me every fucking
yeah, I know.
time, man.
Everything they do is like literally defiant.
Like it's literally magic to me because I don't know fucking how they do it.
Yeah, and like you eventually just give up. Like, dude, I can't see anything.
Yeah.
Like, this is a good time though. Yeah, I went to his show, and he was like a fucking rock star.
We
Like,
went
he was
to
so cool.
so when we got married, it's a crazy story about timeshares involved, but we went to see one of the Cirque du, I can't say that word. You know, one of the cool circus shows.
Yeah.
Like Cirque du Soleil, however you say it. You know, I'm a whole hillbilly. I can't say that fancy shit. I don't speak French yet. Is that a French word? So anyway, we went to see one of those shows, and it was like their newest one on the Strip. You know, and it was our wedding week, and we were there with our friends Kent and Mary. They came for our wedding, you know. We got married by Elvis, which, by the way, that was my third wedding, Dave, and I highly recommend it. That was the most fun, by far, the best, and it probably helps that
Getting
I
married
actually...
by Elvis, literally.
Well, this is also my longest marriage, so that probably has something to do with me liking. But yeah, I got married by Elvis. It was the best out of my 3 weddings. Anyway,
No, that's legit though.
yeah.
I'm gonna take that.
So we went to
advice.
see that circus show, and dude, like it was
Plot
those
thickens.
people, man. Like those, like actors or entertainers or athletes, like the amount of work they got to put in to do that stuff. Like, dude, it was amazing. Like, it's impossible humans can do that stuff.
Yeah, it's
you know what I mean?
It blows
Like,
your mind.
yeah,
Like acrobats and shit.
like they're not even tricking me. Like they're literally. So look, I'm going to do this, and They did it. And I'm like, holy shit! Like, what the fuck?
That dude's got balls.
People
like,
don't do that.
Right.
Yeah, like that's amazing, man.
It's a unique skill set.
Here I am writing poetry and wanting people to like pay me for that shit. You know, like
But these people out there,
it's like
really,
these guys are out there doing work and shit, and
Oh my god.
I'm sitting in a studio talking to people now.
It's a safer gamble, honestly.
Well, you know, I'd have kids. You know, I need the health insurance my job provides. I
Right.
can't get hurt. That's I used to play flag football for a long time. I used to think I was an athlete, but I remember like when I started working at Jeep, like I played that first year, like, and like a couple of times I got banged up a little bit, and like Monday sucked, and I'm like, so I quit after that year. I'm like, dude, I can't fucking hurt a knee. I can't miss 3 months of work. You know what I mean?
I was
Like,
about to get into something like that at work too, but yeah, people are hurting themselves.
yeah, I'm like, fuck, man, I got a family to feed, man. I can't get hurt now. You know, it's like all of a sudden I got to be an adult.
Like major knee injuries people are getting from flag.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, it's flag. How is this happening? Like you guys are going intense.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
people
out
are
for like
setting up
9
blocks.
months and
Yeah,
shit.
people are setting up blocks and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
Like I'm like, shit, I can't like be hurt, you know?
Yeah.
It's hell getting old, I guess. Hell being an adult. But we got books and punk rock shows. And
I realized I was getting old when it hurt to jump rope. Like my knees hurt. I was trying to jump up at work.
My
So I
knees
was
are
like,
so fucked
I was on
up.
one of those productive kicks. Like, I'm gonna start jump roping at work.
I feel like, so everybody that knows me knows, I weigh 252 pounds, just so everybody knows. I'm 5'8", and I'm out of shape. But I used to weigh 355 pounds, so I'm like way better than I was 8 years ago. But I smoke, and I got a lot of. I'm at that time where I got to start doing something about this, right?
Taking baby
So,
aspirin.
but what I've been doing is, eventually I'm gonna get the weight room set up down here. I got a whole gym in my basement, but I think this yoga is really good for me, and I think I want to like go back to do jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
Like I feel like that, like maybe just twice a week.
Yeah, that's all.
Like
that's
some
all I'm looking
physical.
for, too.
And I feel like it's for me, like a crazy bastard like me, it's a little bit therapeutic. Just to be clear, like I did this for several weeks years ago. Like it wasn't even like, but it was fun, and I feel like that'd be something to be good for me. And it would like, I don't know, it's just good.
Dude, the endorphin release at
Yes.
the end, like you feel amazing.
I just remember how tired I was. like
yeah,
like for a guy like out of shape like me, like I can't imagine like how good it would be to like just to be exhausted and physically. Like,
to your limits, because like
Yes.
remember at the end, like you'd have to line up or whatever.
dude, I'd be
and-
so tired that they'd just lay on top of me. I couldn't get them off of me. Like, like
dead.
you're just dead.
Yeah, your arms can't move
Yeah.
anymore.
And like I'm 10 years older now. Like,
Right.
and I smoke a pack and a half, a day. And
Honestly, I think we can do it. I was,
we gotta try. I gotta try. We gotta get past the pandemic first.
That's
so
the
I can't
thing.
get
Like
sick.
I don't
but-
know, like when is it
gotta
gonna
be
be
safe,
like
but-
feasible? Like,
I mean,
wait for some like
I
makeshift.
think we gotta wait for the
vaccine,
vaccine, man.
Yeah.
Not a makeshift. We gotta wait. I think it's gonna be probably early next year.
Well,
we'll get
will
something.
they give us a good one right off the rip, or do we have to wait for?
I think we're going to have to. Well, listen, I think the CDC is not going to fuck us over. Like, no matter the politics, like, we got to trust that $6 billion organization at some level, right?
Yeah.
Like, no matter what the politics have been involved, like, they've done a decent job because obviously I've been at work for months now wearing a mask and I haven't got sick yet.
That's true.
So obviously they've done a pretty decent job despite all the political bullshit.
Right.
So I think we're gonna have to like just cut through all the bullshit and trust them at some level. If the CDC says, hey, if it's a politician saying this, like, fuck that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I think that's what gets lost in this. It's like when the doctor gets up and says something, we're like, oh, we should listen.
Yeah.
When a politician gets up and tries to sell us something, maybe we should say, oh, that guy's a politician.
Question it. Like,
You know what I mean?
It's just a perspective.
Like, I feel like that's getting lost a little bit. Like,
I would take the vaccine right away. I mean, I'm like literally, I know like the whole skepticism and all that behind it.
But
and
yeah,
all that,
it's like-
I have a pre-existing injury or whatever you want to call it, like with my lungs. So like,
Yeah.
honestly,
I wasn't going to bring that up because I didn't know if you wanted to talk about it, but that was definitely a life-altering situation,
Yeah.
and that's probably good podcast material, I'm thinking.
Oh yeah.
But that's yours.
This is like a collapsed lung out of nowhere. Like, you know, that changes your life. I mean,
That took a long time to heal.
yeah. I mean, some
We're-
might heal faster than others, but mine took. You know,
And when that happened, you were probably like, dude, you were working out all the time.
Yeah, I
Like,
was
you
working
were-
out. And the thing is, like, when it happened, like, I knew I had it for a while. I remember feeling it until I went to the doctors for it. I was still powerlifting.
Dude, I
was
just
still at
remember-
Jeep for 10 hours a day. Like,
I remember
with
you
the
walking
collapsed lung.
around all the time, like,
Yeah, I would have to go down the stairs because the bathroom was, like, upstairs.
yeah,
When I went down the stairs, I'd have to hold my chest and I'd start coughing.
crazy.
Like, I would
No wonder
have
it
to
took
take
so
a
long.
I'd have to take a second to
Like,
breathe.
imagine if you just went to the doctor the next day.
You know, exactly.
But you probably wouldn't be who you are today then, you know?
Well, that's the thing. Like the day before I went to the hospital, I got to leave early. Like the list went around because we had extra people, and they're like, "You want to go home?" I'm like, "Yeah, for sure." And I hung out with friends or whatever. And then the next day, I realized how bad it has gotten because I was suffering for a while, and I was like, "Guys, can I please go home?" And they said, "No, man, you went yesterday." So I was like, "But please, I want to go to the
That's
I want
the
to go to the
most fucking
hospital."
Jeep thing ever, right
Yeah,
there.
yeah, they said spiteful, like,
It's like-
you went yesterday. I'm like, bro, I
But
need to
me
go
and
to
you
the
have both
hospital.
been there and seen other people do it too, though. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? They're like,
I get it, I understand.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
but it's
literally
like-
saying, like, I'm not joking, you guys. I want to go to the hospital, and so nevertheless, we had 2 extras that day. So out of the 2 people, they wouldn't let me go to the hospital, leave it early. So yeah, when I actually went in, I was stuck there for 22 days in ICU.
yeah, I remember.
But like, you were
Speaking
gonna
of
die,
which,
dude.
This is where I've drawn the line that a certain Taco Bell and me can no longer be friends. When I saw they're getting rid of the Baja Blast,
They're getting rid of that.
I saw something. I read something somewhere.
Maybe it's a Baja Taco or something goofy. The Baja Blast is such a good seller.
I thought I saw something that they're getting rid of it.
I hope not, man. That would
I
literally
feel like I should
boycott.
Google that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know where the fuck my phone is, man. Hang on.
Oh,
Let's see. Are they getting rid of the Baja Blast? I got to know now.
because people were outraged that they didn't sell that soda all year round. You know, it's a seasonal.
Yeah.
They only do it during the summer. Like you only
They
get,
sell it in 20-ounce bottles finally.
Yeah, but like
It's not
I'm,
the same, though.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it was seasonal. So like they wouldn't sell it in the off season. So you would just be waiting forever to get it at the store again.
Well, this is saying maybe it's just rumors.
Even that is sickening.
Maybe it's just a rumor.
Why?
though.
Even why is
But
that
I know
a
they
rumor?
cut out the griller that I like, the potato griller.
all the potato stuff. I got the
Yeah,
spicy
fuck those
taco all the
bastards.
time or whatever.
I love potatoes.
Yeah.
I'm Irish.
How
What the fuck, man?
they gonna do you like that, man?
I know, but I thought I saw that. Good. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I can still be friends. Maybe they got those cinnamon bite things when I'm feeling a little unhealthy at 11:30 at
see,
night
but
after a poker night.
I think I'm just I'm just easily bought, dude. Like if you have anything, bro, I will buy it. Like it doesn't matter what it is. Like it's fine, dude. Like I'm actually
If it's
happy.
convenient and
Yeah,
it's,
like I'm not making my own food
there-
right now.
you know what? You and I both know we've read studies
Yeah.
that there's endorphins released from that too,
Yeah, you
from
get
eating comfort food.
dopamine just
And
flooding
that's
your
why
system.
maybe I weigh 253
Right.
fucking pounds.
You're just
you
constantly
know,
being rewarded.
that's. But then I get to a point where this ain't rewarding no more. You know,
right.
And it's like, fuck, now I got to eat vegetables and shit.
Oof.
But I'm thinking, the whole point of that was, I'm thinking like yoga and jiu-jitsu and maybe just some light working out.
Yeah.
Like I don't need, to fucking, like I just need to be healthy.
Yeah, it's like the balance of it all, like just
You know.
doing here and there of some stuff because like, I mean, I work out at
Like I'm not going to be a 6-day-a-week gym guy. Like it's impossible with my life.
I go
it's
like
just,
4 or 5 days, man, and it's at this point like.
Yeah, but
with
you're
my
like,
health, no,
you know.
it's but it's misleading because I don't have any cardio or flexibility. So
So
like,
just to be clear, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this anymore, but Dirty Dave is one of those friends that you don't bring around your friends because he's so fucking good looking. So, and he blames one other friend for this too, and that friend's also really fucking good looking.
Better.
No, I don't know if he's better.
Demigod level.
I don't know if he's better, but definitely same.
Yeah.
But which is probably why you were riding around on a skateboard in a suit in Washington D.C. anyway. Which, by the way, why were you wearing a suit?
Well, honestly, it's simple as this. Like, if you think Washington, like D.C., you think of like all the political shit in it. You think everybody's wearing suits. So it's like, you know what, dude? I'm gonna blend in. I'm gonna wear a fucking suit. And that's how I was skating around.
That's
in a
incredible,
suit.
man.
I had some dude randomly film me because he's like, dude, that's the coolest thing I've ever said.
You're probably in a fucking documentary somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Like
we don't even know it.
And someone's like,
they should have gave you shout outs. How do you say that?
Shoot, I haven't been enough of them. But yeah, so like he was like blown. So like people were shocked that I was skating in a suit. So I guess that isn't that actually normal. But like from where we're at, where it's like cornfields and whatever. Like when you think of that, you think of suits. You think of like some hardcore political stuff going on over there.
I'm admittedly a middle-aged guy, but do you think there's still like a skate scene in the Midwest? Like I don't know anything about it, but I was growing up. Like I had a skateboard, but I couldn't ride it for shit. But like my uncle was a pretty good, like I knew some people that could. I think did some shit.
I hope
people still doing that. You think?
I think it's just like declined.
They still got a skate park and stuff, or?
I mean, like, well, from my perspective, it's like Parmalee. That's where I went to all the time. And was that Lambertville? That stuff it really fell apart. Like they didn't take care of it. Like it was obviously like the
pretty much like everything
city's responsibility or
everything in capitalism, Dave.
Yeah,
if it don't make money, we get rid of it.
They wanted the skate park because they were tired of people skating at the businesses in Bedford, so they made a skate park. But then once they made it, that was it. They didn't maintain it. They didn't do nothing.
So what you're saying is that the more punk rock you are, or the more of a nuisance you are, the more nice things you get.
Yes.
Because if you get a bunch of 13-year-old kids riding their skateboards in a church parking lot, all of a sudden they're like, hey, let's build these guys a skate park.
So basically, I mean, realistically,
if a bunch of young people march in the streets long enough, if enough young people march in the streets long enough, all of a sudden cities start changing their laws. It's pretty wild.
Imagine that.
It's wild that you brought that up.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? It's like so true.
Yeah,
like that's they weren't gonna do it unless
not to get too deep or political, but that's just an interesting.
Like throwing it out there.
Yeah,
it does in fact work.
So, I've been. So I get down these rabbit holes sometimes late in the evening when I get a little relaxed and stuff, and so lately I've been watching parkour videos, man.
Yes,
dude,
I went through a phase.
Like talk about like that's like I could never do that. You know how like so when you're like 16 and like I played baseball, but like you watch baseball when you're 16, you're like, man, I could do that.
Yeah.
You watch football like I played football.
It's realistic.
You're like, maybe if I would have worked out more, you know what I'm saying? But like that's one thing. Like there's no fucking way. Like those man.
They do some wild shit. Like it doesn't even look possible.
No,
it doesn't make any sense.
Like maybe they're like the aliens. Maybe they're the aliens.
They're like evolution, maybe.
Ooh, they're evolved humans.
Literally, because who could else do that kind of stuff?
You know what? You're right.
That's scary.
They've evolved that skill that I didn't focus on.
I don't even think it could be.
Probably, I don't think I could
manifested.
No,
I don't think. Manifested.
Yeah, I don't think I'm meant to evolve that way. I'm probably meant to talk to people in my basement and read books.
I carried a grocery cart, and that's what started my lung collapse. So I couldn't do the things they're doing. You think about it.
Yeah.
I always carried a grocery cart and hurt myself. These guys are doing like triple backflip 360s.
But to be fair, you probably didn't train much to carry that grocery cart.
You're right.
and you probably just lifted it and,
Took
you know,
took it for granted.
yes.
I thought it was just so simple.
It's kind of like me when my back, like finally, so my back bothered me for months. Did I go to the doctor? No. Did
Right.
I go to the chiropractor? Yes, once. You know, like I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And like I just whatever, and all of a sudden I got up one morning and I couldn't fucking walk, and I'm like, well, I guess I got to go to the doctor now. You know, it's like, why do I do that to myself? And now it's like that's why I think I keep hammering on the yoga because I know I got to keep doing
It might have
It's
helped
like,
me a little bit with some core strength or something, or I don't know, maybe anything might have helped at that point.
yeah,
Because I was at that point, I was lifting weights a lot, and I literally could deadlift 405 pounds.
what are you deadlifting now?
I don't even hardly deadlift, so I would probably be around like
That's probably a good
300 area. Because I did it like a month ago just for shits and giggles, but yeah, so like imagine that, like lifting like 405 pounds, deadlifting. You know, you picking the weight off the ground with a barbell to just tearing your lung from a hand cart.
Speaking of which, my 16-year-old son bought his own weights, but you know, his first like it's like a rite of passage. As a teenager, you know, he got a job, got money, bought his own weight set, right? But for like a year, all he did was like deadlifts every day. Every day.
What's wrong with him?
And I kept telling him like you got to like bench press and I was going to buy him a bench, but he don't have anywhere to put it.
Yeah.
So he was sending me these videos, and he's kind of a nerd, but I love him. But he was sending me like a video once a week, and it's like his phone propped up in the grass, and him walking over to his barbell and doing like a deadlift or two, you know. And I'm like, God love him, you know.
Yeah.
But he's like over 300 pounds now. He's
he's a tank.
But now he's doing other weightlifting too.
That reminds me when I was younger. Like
the
scene, like the social media wasn't around, like Snapchat and all that stuff. But like me and my friend, like we looked up jiu-jitsu moves.
Oh yeah.
And I remember filming myself flying armbarring my friend, but I never did nothing. I should have made like a video of how to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like get some out of it. But like we did experiment with this like film and stuff like that. Like so instead of filming myself deadlifting some weight, like I just filmed myself doing like some martial art technique. You know?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
We didn't film anything when I was a kid because nobody had cameras.
Right. Let alone probably cell phones.
Which is probably not necessarily a bad thing. So
no, it was only a good thing. As destructive as our society is with the way people are with phones, like you got lucky. Like you almost like
there's definitely
maybe at first you thought like, man, I wish, you know, like in the beginning era of technology, like I wish I was around when this technology was around. But now as you see how far it's gone, not good. It literally is just decline. You know what I mean?
It's definitely, well, this is, I mean, think about this.
We reached our peak already.
It's well, I mean, and I don't know if that's even necessarily true. I think we can swing it. I think there's still hope. I'm a guy that's got to have hope. I got to, you know.
Yeah.
But
I feel it.
And I think there's some things I can tell you. I can show you some signs of hope. People bought more books, like books, not Kindle books. Yeah. That percentage of books bought has grown for the first time in 20 years.
That's crazy.
So that's a little bit of hope. You know, like union membership has grown for the first time in 30 years or something, you know?
That's the thing. Like, technology is a tool, so you can use it for good.
But
you have to really focus on that.
To think about this, though, for me, I'm 40. I'll be 42 in a couple of days, actually. Huh? But think about how different the world is now than it was when I was 20. Like, we literally carry a computer in our pocket that does everything. It calls people, orders my dinner, looks at Wikipedia pages.
You probably would never thought that was even possible.
Fantasy football. It does my, it plays my music. It reads my audiobooks, plays my podcast, like has my pictures of my family on it. Like all of that in my pocket. And that none of those things, you know what I'm saying? Like that's right. Like the world, think about how fast the world is changing right now is what I'm saying. Like the world's different today than it was 5 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's accelerated quite quick. And like, so that scares me though, because like the way
I gotta fix the climate real quick. Like we ain't got a whole lot of time to start on that one either. Like that,
Yeah. It might be evolving too quick. We might want to take a little break.
Well, you know what?
Ceasefire.
I think what we've lost and I don't want to get real radical here. I get a tendency to get lost out in left field now and again, Dave.
Damn it.
But there's a whole lot of people on this planet. And I think at some level we were meant to like survive in villages. And I don't even think that it has to be just 70 people living by themselves in the woods. But I think we're meant to like be connected somehow to a small group.
Yeah, the whole community aspect.
And I feel like we've lost that. So we're losing that.
Oh,
You know,
definitely.
we're losing
We're losing like,
because
we're
of
disconnected
virtual
from it, right?
reality, because of social media, because of pandemic even right now. But, you know, like we're kind of losing.
Well,
I need that.
yeah, I mean,
you know?
if you think about it, like the whole community aspect means coming together and stuff. And when you're constantly on your phone and all that, you're not with anything near you. You're disconnected to like the source.
Well,
The
and
internet,
now,
you know,
and we
like-
live in a world now where we're connected on ideas or lack of ideas instead of like on characteristics.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, do you believe in the red or blue? Or, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I can't be your friend because you believe that. Or like,
People take it personally these days.
yeah, and it's like, in all reality, those beliefs are like 3% of who I am as a human.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm also a guy that loves books, and I like when I'm doing a podcast now, and I work at Jeep, and I have kids, and you know, like there's a lot more to me than just those 3% of my beliefs. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I feel like we're stuck in this cycle of like that's what we fight about. You know,
Maybe it's like the whole.
I'd rather talk about skateboards.
No, I get it though, but I think like just like we're more argumentative or whatever, you know,
Yeah.
like because now social media like it kind of created this idea that you make a stand somewhere, like it's this or that, you know what I mean? Like it's not as like caring or free.
Yeah,
It's
caring.
sharing of ideas, like
Yeah.
you know whatever, like opinions. It's like now it's like this identifies who you are and what you stand for.
Yeah,
Pick a team.
I don't want to pick a team. I just want to be on Team Human.
Yeah.
You know, like people, mostly, unless they're asshole humans.
It'd probably work out a lot better.
And I'd like them to be in a different village, I guess.
I like the village idea though.
Yeah.
Honestly, I
I
get
do.
what you're saying.
I do every once in a while. I get fed up with like work and like, I'll have a bad day at the grocery store or something, right? Like you know, like there's no such thing as a good trip to the grocery store for me
Yeah.
because of my anxiety, because
yeah.
of like it's made worse by wearing a mask. You know, I just don't. I'm impatient. Like it's just too part. I just don't like. You know, I hate capitalism, Dave.
I do too.
And I keep reading all these stories about how the store, like I hate having to fucking swipe a card so they track what I buy so they can sell me more shit. I hate everything about it, right?
Right.
I just want to go get the shit I need.
Suggestive selling.
Have the cashier ring it up, put it in the bag. I'm not going to the fucking self-checkout shit because they're stealing jobs. Anyway, I get anxiety at the grocery store. And sometimes like I'll have to, like I just have a bad day at the grocery store, right? And it's like I'll come home and I'll be like, you know what? I'm buying a lottery ticket. If I win this fucking Powerball, I'm buying 100 fucking acres
Right.
in fucking southern Ohio, and I'm building a fucking cabin, and, you know, only 10 people can come live. You know, like, I'll build 10 cabins. But then I'm like, fuck, that's a commune. You know, like...
No, it's like escaping capitalism through capitalism.
Yes! It's like, but I fucking buy a Powerball ticket once in a while just in case.
I feel it honestly. Like I love the whole Powerball like thing. Like I'm all about it. Like yes, like why not, man?
Yeah, it's...
Like I waste money on so much stupid shit. Like I have no problem buying on a chance to be like a fucking millionaire or some shit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
for sure. That's a fair bet for me. Honestly.
Yeah. You know, I always tell people that like $1 or $2 ticket, and listen, I'm good at math. I know the odds. I get it. You know, there's a reason why me and you don't know anybody that's won the big Powerball. You know,
Right.
You know, nobody
It's
wins.
a rare.
It's yeah. You know, out of all the people in the world, the chances are I get it. But for $2, I get a chance to dream all night
Exactly.
because I'm not going to check the ticket till the morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the drawing's going to be, you know, the
like
life we
that.
live. I'm in bed early, you know. But for $2, even if it's just for 20 minutes, I escape everything that's around me. And I think, because this is what I do when I buy a Powerball. Because, you know, whatever it is, $12 million. What would you do with $12 million?
Oof, man, literally, I'd be throwing that shit everywhere.
I mean,
First of all, a car. I really like vehicles.
so for me, it's a beach house. So I've got this dream
Yeah.
My American dream is someday I want to retire young enough to enjoy life, and I want to be a snowbird. I want to have my home in Toledo and live with my family, but when it gets cold, I want to get the fuck out and go live on a
adios.
beach somewhere. So all the time I'm looking at beach houses on Realtor.com. So
legit though, man.
like that
It
for
keeps
me,
you
like
focused.
I'd pay off my house and I'd
Yeah.
like start buying, because there's some really good deals. I can tell you where they're at right now. I look
Right.
all the time.
I'm gonna swoop in.
I found this somewhere just south of Jacksonville, Florida. Not that that's Florida I'm going to. I don't know. It could be just somewhere warmer than a beach. I don't know, but somewhere where there's no fucking winter.
Yeah.
But
no winter.
I found like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. It's like $380,000 on the beach. But like every house next to it's like a $3 million house.
Okay.
Like they're like, I feel like somebody's just gonna buy that and like build a bigger house, you know.
yeah, that's
But I want to buy that
that's a
house. I
gem.
want to buy that house and live in it and like piss up, you know, live
Right.
next to the rich guy and like, because I can almost maybe if I play my cards right at my job and I play the game right, I might be able to get that. That's what our job hooks us at, you know.
Oh yeah, possibilities.
So out of all the people I know that have retired from the place I work at, some of them have that house on the beach.
Oh really?
Yeah, I know some.
That's like a really good.
A
thing
lot
to
more
hear.
of them are living in Toledo still, you know.
they haven't done shit.
Yes.
Yeah, because
But they're paying their bills and they're living and they're, you know.
surviving. Man.
But I feel like that's the attraction of our job is if things go just exactly right, I could get that house in Florida.
As long as you have direction, you know. People live in the moment so much.
Or if you decide to start a podcast and figure out how to create an entertainment company
Yeah,
for blue collar working people.
that's a change for sure. That's what's
Yeah.
up though.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see. Got to try something. But you know what?
Try something. That's it. That's all I think. That's all there is.
I just why not just try to do what you like doing, you know? Like hanging art up in the basement and talking to my friend like Dave. This is like what I would love to do on Friday nights for the rest of my life.
Oh,
And if
yeah.
I could figure out how to do that, you know?
Exactly. You gotta
Like-
do what you love.
Yeah.
And then
That's
if
what
it-
everybody says, but we never do that,
especially
you know?
if you get paid for it.
But
Man.
nobody, how many people do you know in your life that are doing what they love?
I don't think a single soul.
But that's like
Not
the American
one.
dream, right?
It's supposed to be. Have we lost sight? Like,
That's
is
what I'm
going
saying.
on?
Like, what is the American dream? Owning a house.
I think it's just like the whole house, car, family thing that people.
That's the American dream now.
I mean, that's like the cliche. one from back in the
Vacations.
day. Yeah, vacations.
And that's great. That's a great life. Like, that's the life I live now, you know, because of my middle class union job, you know, and that
Sure.
is a great life. But I got to go to some underground literary festivals once in a while.
Yeah, I think people's idea of it is kind of like, I don't know. It's like too much of a dream almost sometimes.
Yeah.
Like they set you like really high kind of thing. Like this is what you ought to do to feel happy and complete. But like what really makes you feel happy and complete is kind of different. Or it could be anything, you know what I mean?
So, you know what it is? I think people like me and you, we kind of question what the American dream is because psychedelics.
So you know, it already opened the door. It shows
Yeah.
you the
All those
different
years
realms.
ago when I did stuff like that, you know,
Yeah, it exposed all the bullshit.
Yeah, you
real
know.
quick.
you see things a little different.
That's for sure.
But you know, but really though, that like I think about those things on Friday nights. Like, you know what's the end game here? You know, 25 years. You know,
Yeah.
and that's like, okay, my kids will be this old. Well, or I think in my case, I think, you know, my wife's a little older than me. She's gonna get a retirement with a pension in less than a decade.
Well, that's what's up.
In a decade or so, my youngest daughter graduates high school. You know,
Oh yeah, for sure. That's like the
So-
next phase is.
so
close.
why not start planning now? And you know, if my end game is a beach house, on, you know, anywhere on a beach where it's warm, then like let's start working on that now.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, if you have a vision like in your head, like if you can hold on to that, you'll like guide yourself in that direction. And like,
Do you have a vision board at home?
a vision? What?
Do you have a vision board? You know what a vision board is?
No, I don't.
So a vision board's like, man, you'll dig this, man. Dude, I'm
Teach
about
me.
to take you down a whole nother rabbit hole. All right. Wait till
See it.
I got about 6 books you can borrow on the way home with this, all right?
Right.
And I'm not saying I entirely buy into it, but there's something about it, okay? So vision board. You get like a poster board, cut out pictures from a magazine of things you want in life.
Yeah.
So if you want a Corvette, if the Corvette's like the one thing you've always wanted in life, you put that in the middle, and then the big house and whatever it is you want, right? For me, if I made a vision board, which I don't, I talk about my vision board. Like
It's in your head.
I talk about the things I want to do in life,
You hold
which
it in your head, though.
eventually I kind of get to those things,
Right.
yeah. But, for me, it would be like a book being published, or my art being accepted, or being able to live as an artist and not have to work in a factory. Those would be
Right.
my visions, So that's, why not start working on those things,
Yeah.
But anyway, there's this whole, I don't know what to call it, philosophy
Yeah.
on these vision boards. And like being in tune with the vibration of the world.
Oof.
And yeah, I'm telling you, man.
Put down a poster board.
Dude, I'm telling you. Wait till you see these books, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like there's,
I'll read it.
I'm not, so you know me, I'm a skeptic, man. Like I question the fuck out of everything. So I'm
Yeah.
not, even Buddhism. I love Buddhism, but I won't go to a temple, because
Right.
it's too rigid and it's too, I won't do it. So I'm a skeptic, but
That's what they kind of want you
there's
to do.
something about vibration and energy that I kind of believe in, that I know is true, because I've been around creative people and it's helped me be more creative. I've been around,
Well, like you're saying, the vision board, like, you're syncing with whatever thought
Yeah.
is from that board. Whatever that does to you, that's kind of setting how you
focused,
are. in a way.
like that's your
Yeah.
focus, and that reminds you, and
It keeps you focused, man. Like,
So-
just having direction it's really positive.
it's kind of like that. It kind of boils down, I guess, to that positive thinking leads to positive life, or that kind
yeah,
of.
exactly. Law of attraction kind of thing.
That's exactly what it is. I couldn't remember what it was called.
Yeah.
But so my
I
wife and
believe it.
my wife and I actually went. We spent a lot of money to go see a channeler that teaches law of attraction.
Yeah.
It was a pretty wild experience.
Oh, that's what's up then. Yeah, that's actually
So I'm
awesome.
not. Listen, man, dude, I'm a college dropout. I work in a factory. I don't know if these people are talking to dead people or not. Okay, listen, I'm not telling you that I believe.
Right.
Listen, I ain't staking no claims to nothing. Fuck, I don't know what the hell's going on, man. Something, there's,
yeah.
and like part
There's
of what
some
they're
psychology
saying,
behind it
part
or
of what they're
something, man.
saying has some wisdom to it, that rings true, and you're like, fuck, I don't know, man. I don't know what the fuck that is,
Right.
but I paid some money to go see it, and
Well, I
that's,
mean, law of attraction, like,
I feel
not
like it's
much good has
interesting.
come to people that just are negative all the time.
that's I think.
Like those Debbie Downers, like they ain't going very far. And guess
I
what?
mean,
'Cause they
they're-
don't have the law of attraction.
So I feel like there's enough to that you should pay attention to
Yeah,
it.
I
You
mean-
should. Karma. Do I believe in karma as it's taught? No. Because I've seen a lot of people do a lot of bad things and live good lives.
Right.
We've all seen it, But maybe that's not exactly how karma works. And I know it's like incarnation. I get that, But I'm saying I'm a skeptic. I don't completely buy into it, okay?
Really.
But there is something,
Yeah.
100%, to karma.
it's like
to-
your own action.
Doing good things lead to a good life. I know this because I've tried to practice that, and it's been a tremendous, it's worked out.
It's like to reap what you sow.
Yes.
you
Like
know.
there's truth to that. And maybe that's the thing about religions and philosophies. Maybe there's just enough truth in all of them that, but they all kind of do have that universal truth to them.
Yeah. I
They
do
all
like
teach like a golden rule.
Yeah, I
and,
like how they all kind of connected with
Yeah.
it. Like, I do like listening to
Which is
people talk
maybe-
about that.
maybe
for
that's
sure.
why I'm fascinated by all of them and I study all of them. Like
Yeah, they're all
Hinduism
preaching
and-
the same ideas, just in different form.
a little bit, yeah.
Different. They're just worded
Speaking of that-
differently or something.
And speaking of those, not to go full circle on this, but those self-improvement things we were talking that we didn't like to talk about.
Right.
There's one of them called Living, Loving, and Learning. No. Is it
Yes.
Living? Yes.
Living, I read, yeah.
Living, Loving, and Learning. Leo Biscaglia. The Love Doctor. I think that's how you say his name. So Leo Biscaglia said in this book, this one paragraph changed my whole outlook on life. He said, every major philosophy and every major religion, all of them teach that happiness comes from within. But by and large, every human being spends their fortune, all of their energy, all of their work chasing happiness on the outside. And that one paragraph, and it just happened to be probably the right time of my life. I was going through some shit.
It connected.
I just ended a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
You know, like I was going through some change in life, and I read that. And dude, like that one paragraph changed my whole outlook on life. That's why I always tell. Like, I've probably given that book away probably to 20 people.
Yeah, exactly. And like,
And I know it doesn't have the same effect on everybody. But
no, but like, you know, like you would think that would be like obvious to us. You know, like, you know, it's from within, but not externally. But like, it doesn't connect, and it will. You know, unless you're at that point in your life where it finally resonates, like you won't see that. You know, that's crazy. Like we literally will just chase all these external things trying to be happy, but really it's been your mindset the whole time. And I realized
and
that
not that I do this perfectly. I don't.
for the factory.
Like I still buy new cars and
Right. I mean, as long as
make
you
bad
understand
financial
that, though.
decisions.
You know what I mean?
I do understand it. But you know, it was also my wife's 50th birthday, and it was coronavirus. We couldn't throw her a party. Neither one of us had ever bring a brand new car. You know.
Well, I bought my car. I just wanted something kind of quick. You know.
Yeah, but you got a pretty sweet ride.
Yeah, exactly. But like, I was like, I know it's not gonna make me like actually like have like.
No,
it's not
but
gonna help
we
me out
both
at that
work
level.
hard enough and have a comfortable enough life we can do that.
Yeah, it's like, but why not? Like, I have to drive a vehicle. Why not
Yeah.
be something enjoyable for me?
But you and I both know that's not where we're staking our happiness on either.
Exactly.
You know, I know that about you.
Oh yeah.
But it is cool to have nice things too.
If you can, why not? You know, yeah, dude.
Like I've not had nice things, and it's better to have some. Like
Or it was like
just to be clear, I've been homeless. You know, it's
yeah.
like, you know.
It was something on Fight Club where he was talking about all the nice things, and he was like saying how like you don't need them, but he's like, it is a versatile solution for modern day living.
Yeah.
Saying like, despite the like the real deep aspect of it, like it is convenient to have these things.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Oh, and it's like, you know, I love Buddhism. You know, the proverb, the things that you own you.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. It's true.
It's true.
You know, I bought a new car. Guess what? Now I got a monthly membership at a fucking car wash for the first time in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
you know, now 2 or 3 times a week I got to take the car to the car wash because, man, it looks fucking nice when it's clean. You know what I mean?
Super fresh.
And now that's an extra hour and a half of my life a week.
Right.
And I think about those things, but I do some of them anyway. So
But dude,
balance.
But you know what's a good thing though? Like the whole perspective aspect is like, you know, it's easy to count like whatever you buy as how many hours you worked. But like, if you're at work and you're truly not suffering, like if you have a good mindset or whatever it may be, whatever you're doing, you don't have a negative mindset. Like you don't have to count things as hours worked because you're not working like that anymore. You're just living. You know what I mean? You're just doing your thing and you're not like so stingy about it. You know what I mean? It feels better. You know, like you're a steward now. Like you do a good thing, help out a lot of people. So like you don't have to look at as you suffered anymore for this many hours to get this money. Like you're just being your good self. You know, helping people out, and you got paid.
Well, for the most part, I get to do what I enjoy doing, trying to help people.
Why not like blow that money? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It wasn't like slave labor. Like it was.
Well, I also know I'm not taking any of it with me when we leave here. You know, like.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what happens when I die, but I know for damn sure I'm not taking any of this money with me. You know, like,
right.
These books I love, they're not coming with me. I know that, you know.
Yeah, and Alan Watts touches on that. He was like, people, like, you know, they look at these, like, material gains, like the numbers of it, and they think that's, like, all this money is, like, the wealth. But the wealth is what you do with it. So, like, you may be the richest man in the world. You have this number in your bank account. But that's just a number. That's not the reality of it. Like, you know, like live with it, you know, like, but you know, don't overdo it. Like you only can live in one house. You only can eat so much food. Like you don't have to overdo it.
Yeah, but I'm talking about owning 2 houses someday.
Right, but I mean, you know, it can get extreme with the super wealthy.
I just hate winter.
I
just hate wintertime. But
it hurts the bones.
So I'm thinking outside the box here, and I'll probably have to wrap this up in a little bit. But thinking outside the box. So I joined this thing on social media on Facebook, and it's like love of old houses. And one day they posted a house in Italy in a village on the countryside, and that led me down a whole like week rabbit hole during the pandemic. Like I spent a whole week every evening.
It fucking inspires you.
This is how weird I am. For a whole week, every evening, I started reading about how easy it is to get like an Italian citizenship, like a dual citizenship. I started
Yeah.
reading about what the cost of living was like in that area of Italy.
cost
I
of
started reading
living.
about like their life. And
Life expectancy.
so listen to this. And I don't want to like give away this big secret here, but I think in some of those countries, from what I understand, if you can get citizenship there, you can get access to their Medicare.
Ooh. So it's probably like a
So
zillion
now I'm
times
thinking,
better.
maybe I don't need that much money to retire.
Right. Oh, now you're thinking though.
I'm just saying.
That
I'm not
slices the
saying.
cost.
I'm not saying I'm bailing, but I'm just saying that I don't. Maybe the world got a little larger for me during the pandemic, even though I was trapped in my house. You know.
You know, I mean, some.
So by the way,
countries-
that the house they showed, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, in-ground pool, on a hillside, overlooking the small village,
Yeah,
$300,000 American.
that's not bad then.
No, that's not like
I
impossible.
I just need a job, or I'd have to save to buy the house. You know.
Dude, just imagine how. This is what I was thinking. Like, imagine how much freedom it would be just to like get in your like Vespa and ride down to the village every day and get some cheese and sausage
Yeah.
and a newspaper from like the day old newspaper from the New York Times, and ride back up to your house and eat your cheese overlooking the pool, reading your newspaper. I'm like,
For
dude,
sure.
that's what I need to work towards.
Honestly, man.
I just don't know where. Maybe not Italy, but
But maybe it's pointing you somewhere towards the direction.
I don't know, man.
Somewhere in Europe.
That seems like that's my version of the American dream right there. Be able to get up, chill in the morning, read the newspaper, enjoy life, then work and write and you
yeah,
know,
I feel it.
or do whatever.
Well, that's the sad thing.
Basically,
right?
just do more what I want to do.
Well,
in
dude,
life.
it's like imagine our life. Like we don't have a pension, which totally fucking sucks. To
Yeah.
be frank, you know what I'm saying?
You've got a guaranteed retirement.
Yeah. My dad, retired from Jeep. He has a pension. He doesn't do it. He doesn't have to work. He just lives his life.
Yep.
But like I don't have that. Like really? Like my dad. That was like I grew up with him like, expressing that once in a while. Kind of thing. Like
My
I
wife
knew-
still gets a pension when she retires.
Yeah, I knew about pensions, and like I always expected that. Hopefully, I get to work at Jeep one day and have a pension, and then when I finally do, no pension. So like, damn that like. So now I have to invest in myself, and also just like, I have to think about what I want my life to be later on, right now.
And start preparing for
Yeah,
that now.
you have to prepare because you don't have anything.
So think
set
about
for you.
this. Our retirement program, our 401k, is managed by Merrill Lynch.
Yeah,
Merrill Lynch is owned by the Bank of America. Bank of America paid billions in dollars in fines in the last decade
yeah.
for stealing from retirement accounts during the recession.
Oh,
That
wow.
led to the recession.
Yeah, imagine that.
So our future is tied to that company's performance in Wall Street and guessing what Wall Street's going to do.
Right.
So that's what I'm like, man. Like I'm definitely putting money in there because we need to. Like I'm definitely
Yes.
putting money in there. I want to retire. Like I get it. Like we got to have it. I try to have like mine. You can manage where it goes.
Yeah.
So I try to keep mine in like the mid-level, like, which is whatever. Fuck, I don't know. But
I need to look into that.
I just that can't be my only end plan, Like that can't be it. You can't put all your eggs in.
Yeah, one basket, dude. You don't
Like
put all your
millions
eggs in
of
one basket.
Americans lost their retirements, bro, just 12
Right.
years ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, they got
And
the
like
short end of the stick.
we're going to work every day doing what we're doing, and I can't put all my eggs in that basket. I just can't.
Like your whole life led to being shitted on. Straight up.
So that's why I got to build a podcast studio and like figure some other things out. And I don't know, man. There's got to be something different.
Well, shit. I mean, honestly, like that works though.
Welcome to America. I can't wait to start talking about retirement plans with some people.
I know. Like I feel like I need to like start thinking about that kind of thing more.
I should. Here's the thing. I should too. And I'm older than you.
Everyone should.
I'm
know,
closer.
sadly.
I'm supposed to be closer to retirement
Yeah.
than you, even though we started at the same time,
Right.
same year.
I know what you mean though.
But like I'm 42. I'll be 42. So, and I definitely I'm putting 10% a week into my 401k, and it's done. Even during the pandemic, it's somehow done okay this year. Whatever. I check it like once every week or two, to see how it's doing. Whatever. But like that can't be the only, like I do have a separate like IRA somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
put a little bit of money into.
For sure.
Just as like hopefully as a safety net, because I don't trust any of this shit and I don't understand it. Like seriously, I'm a pretty intelligent guy. You're a pretty intelligent guy. We read a lot. We know a lot of things.
I feel it.
Think about the amount of hours we would have to invest to like figure out how to invest in Wall Street. Think about that.
Yeah.
There are people that spend their whole life, that's all they do, that's their job. But there are like these other people we work with that are reading a magazine and like trying to control their retirement plan. I'm just saying
Right.
I don't think I'm going to go that route.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
Like
a gamble.
yeah.
You gotta know what
And
you're
I'm not
doing.
knocking anybody. Like everybody does what they do. I know people at Jeep that got into Bitcoin early and made some good money on it. Like I'm not ever going to be that guy, probably. You know, I wish I would, but
I dabbled in some stocks on Robinhood. I made a little bit, but I realized how shaky it is.
it's and it's like I've done that too. Like a couple little those apps, so like
Just
you know,
imagine
put your
like-
spare change in or
Yeah,
something.
but
And
imagine like, okay, even if you do a few $100, like, that's one thing. But imagine like if you're the kind of person that did like just like thousands, like
Yeah.
tens of thousands, like that's like fucking. That's scary to think that you're relying on that.
yeah, and that's like I just feel like I need to do something. I need to invest in something besides just a 401k owned by a bank that paid all those billions of dollars for robbing Americans,
Right.
Which leads to a whole different topic of, how those people got big bonuses anyway and nobody went to jail.
Professionals,
And,
man.
yeah, whatever, But anyway, hey, thanks for coming over, man.
For sure, dude.
This
Appreciate
has
it.
been a lot of fun. This is actually you are officially my second guest.
Ooh,
So that's kind of a cool thing.
that is good.
So
I'd never
but,
even thought of myself as being like a worthy guest because I'm just like this guy.
see, I feel like we just talked for over 2 hours and neither one of us got bored. And I don't know if
sure.
anybody else is going to fucking think we're interesting or not. But it's been a pretty cool Friday night,
Oh
and
yeah, man.
I
For
bet
sure.
enough people will like it that maybe they'll tell somebody.
Honestly though, like I'm gonna tell my friends, Dirty Dave's on the mic.
Hey, Dirty
Check
Dave's
it.
on the mic, and see that's what I'm banking on is if you tell 50 people, and then maybe 10 of those people will listen next week.
You
know,
know,
like-
that's the thing. Like it's a good conversation. Like we all have good friends. Like they respect a quality conversation.
Yeah.
If you was to be kicking it with them, so like they might not have been here, but if they were in that seat, dude, they would have loved it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the whole concept.
Hey, let's get him on this. Let's bring him in the seat, man. This is
Yeah.
So somebody was
I got
telling
some
me,
characters.
I've been asking a couple people we work with, hey, come talk to me. They're like, why me? And I'm like, dude, this is a podcast for everyday people.
Right.
Like, I think there's going to be some people like running for city council come on and stuff like,
Yeah.
some people from the NAACP. Like, I want those people to come talk to me too because they got important messages, and it's important to be engaged.
Yeah.
But this is a podcast for everyday people, man. Like, it's working people.
Yeah.
This is.
You gotta hit at every level.
Yeah. So I was telling somebody, like, eventually I want to start a segment where once a week I talk to, like, a different person from a different profession. Like, maybe,
Yeah.
like, a fast food cook.
Right.
How much money do you make? What's your life like?
Perspective is key.
Because, we, as Americans, especially where we work, I feel like we lose track of how life really is sometimes.
Well, I mean, even
You know?
going back to like how being droned out, you can be into like society and stuff. Like, people just the only thing they see is like the millionaires' perspective, like all these stars. Like they don't
Yeah.
see the people anymore. They just see
Yep.
Instagram stars or Snapchat people. You know what I mean? Like get grounded to like life and like the people around you.
So I think that's the American dream. I think the American dream is to, like, be a Instagram viral star. Like, that's like the new dream. Like,
It
that's
is that seriously you just want to be that
And
guy.
fuck, what do I know? Well, fucking, we got a podcast, entertainment. We're probably doing the same shit. I'm trying to get viral, whatever,
It's more sophisticated. Instead of me just like bashing your
Well,
head with like a fish tank or something like
yeah,
something that big to create
but
shock
that's
value.
also because I don't have an ass for twerking, and I don't have,
Yeah, that's what
like
shock value.
this is the one marketable skill I have is I know a lot of cool
Yeah.
people and I like to talk,
That's good.
and
though.
I write poetry. Like I got a couple little things going for me, but like I'm not going to get a lot of fans from like, I hope I wouldn't get. Never mind. Let's talk about.
Oh,
Anyway,
part
I'm-
two.
Yeah, I'm glad you came, brother. Man, it's been good hanging out with you, and
Yeah.
welcome to the Blue Collar Gospel Hour.
Yes.
And hopefully you'll be back and hang out some more. So,
Most certainly.
all right, brother. Thanks.
Yep, for sure.